Go. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies show, podcast?
Ramblings?
Ramblings. The ramblings of recovery. Oh, that's good.
No, it's not.
Ramble into recovery.
No.
Did you rumble or ramble into recovery? I more rumbled.
Grumbled.
Grumbled.
I grumbled
Ooh,
into recovery.
I grumbled into recovery. I went into recovery because I had no other option. There literally was no other choice. Unless, there was no choice. There was no option. And my beautiful family, you, my dear, I remember, I don't know the date. I think it was a Wednesday, November 2009. No, November the 9th, 2006. 2005. I convinced you to meet with me and take me to my makers. It was like going to...
Makers?
Yeah, the maker. It was like I was going to the electric chair and this was the end of my life, and I convinced you to take me for my last dinner.
Oh my gosh.
And we went to Mexi's.
No, Moxie's.
No, Moxie's. Upscale Moxie's.
And you were
No, I wasn't. I tested negative. Like, I had to pee test, so I couldn't have been that. I was twitchy, itchy,
twitchy, and
bitchy. But I passed the pee test, and then I convinced you, because we were separated, I convinced you to pick me up and take me to the rehab center at the homeless shelter. Thank you, family, for the gift of the. I've watched. Intervention. Thank you for that gift. The gift. Well,
the gift of recovery.
But it was like I had convinced you enough to pick me up with my little hockey bag full of crap, my clothes, my belongings. That's all I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I convinced you to take me for my last lunch. So I just thank you for that.
I have been thinking this. Actually, I was thinking this morning about how selfless you were when you were in recovery.
Selfless. Oh, so selfless.
Because you left me alone. You did not demand anything of me. You did not try to prove yourself to me.
I was at a homeless
You didn't
shelter.
try to convince me of anything.
You dropped me off. Like I was at an orphanage.
Yeah.
I remember being so scared.
Which was so nice of you, because sometimes...
We didn't have a phone. Like, I didn't have a phone to call you and text you. Like, back in those days, there was a message board at the homeless shelter, and so every day that I checked it. And I was just hoping, like, you would go, like, okay, you've had enough. You've been I was in the 4th floor of the Ottawa Mission in stabilization.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I thought, like, maybe she'll come back for me. Maybe everything will be okay. But nope, that didn't happen. That did not happen. That did not.
I did not call you.
No, there was no messages on the board ever for me.
And
the
so
fear
you did your
and
thing.
tension, and then they led me into just the understanding that I was playing God, and I sucked at it because it was at a homeless shelter. I was like, yeah, I can't even convince them. I was like, yeah, that's so true. That was the beginning of my journey into real recovery. I think 2 years prior, I had gone to a rehab center attached to the Royal Ottawa Hospital, and it was a 30-day
mental institution.
Yeah, it was my beginning of, like, this is problematic. I went in there going, like, drugs is a problem. Like, I go out.
Just drink.
I go out and then I'm gone for 2-3 days. Like, I just went to go get pizza. Like, for real, I went to go get pizza and I'm gone for 2 days. It's not. I have a real problem. And then by the end of that 30 days, I was very convinced that I had never not drank, and that drinking was my problem. And so my goal was not to drink. And that lasted 3 months and 5 days or whatever it was. But what I've learned is that recovery has nothing to do with sobriety. That's a bold statement, because if I say that I'm powerless over drugs and alcohol and whatever else, that means it's not about sobriety. It's about recovery is connecting to God, and He's going to solve the sobriety problem. That's something that I can't even do. If I could have done it, I would have done it. Mm-hmm. Hey, John, let's read. Let's read our morning devotional. We've had a couple of coffees. You did
We've had one.
I've had one. I feel like you've had two.
We need to do our reading.
Okay, what's the date?
Get
the 19th?
Mm-hmm.
It starts off hard. Those words.
It's a little bit old.
Okay, well, we're going to start our contemplative meditation where we're going to take an idea out of this book in recovery and take it throughout the day and have God speak to us. So,
I read ahead, which I don't usually do.
Welcome, William and Shannon. Thank you for joining us.
It's a little hard to follow, but bear with us till the end because it's good.
Here it is. In the great Spanish classic Don Quixote, the author tells about a bemused hero. Somebody Google bemused. Like bemused hero who goes forth to right the world's wrongs. Among his adventures, he has an encounter with some windmills that he imagines to be menacing giants. He fights them with his rusty sword until he falls exhausted. Don't we too often wear ourselves out tilling at windmills, using our heavy artillery of anger and worry over trifling annoyances that aren't worth that futile struggle? Oh my goodness, we do. Today's reminder. Do I waste my time and energy fighting situations that are actually not worth a second thought? I will not allow my imagination to build small troubles into big ones. I will try to see each situation clearly and give it only the value and attention it deserves. This is the sanity to which I want to be restored, as the second step suggests. Here's our prayer. God, grant me the sense of proportion to judge the difference between an incident and a crisis. Man, when I was thinking about that, it's like all of my problems that I ever had in addiction, you know what made it better? Alcohol and drugs. Like, it got me into this problem. I remember saying that. I truly remember going like, this is a big problem. But if I just let cocaine and alcohol take care of it, it'll go away. Do I do that with God? Do I go, like, I have this inside turmoil. I have these outside problems. If I just go, oh, I'll just give it to God. He'll sort it out. That's the real reality. That's amazing.
And I was stone cold sober fighting windmills.
Oh my goodness. That's sick. Isn't that true though? Even today?
Going back time and time again, and that's for me, that's my insanity of just realizing like there was so much chaos that I involved myself in that I couldn't not involve myself in,
mm-hmm.
The adrenaline. And then what does it say here? Like, using our heavy artillery of anger and worry over trifling annoyances that aren't worth all that futile struggle. Like, I can make anything a big deal.
But this is where we see the step one problem of like, if I have these things that are coming up inside of me and I don't, and I obsess over them and I think about them and I try to manage them, that's where I get into the problem of becoming God, because I need the world to see me a certain way. I need to see the world a certain way. And if I'm not getting my way, then I'm not okay inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so this little windmill grows into a...
Well, and if I'm not okay inside, it's like way easier to fight the world around me and freak out about your behavior and, be angry at this person.
And that's how we can have a present day first step problem. The first step isn't way back there. It should be on a daily basis to go realize that I'm the manager. I love to be the manager of my life and I'm not good at it. And today I just want to come into God's plan and God's day. And I'm grateful for being a child and being an employee and being a representation of the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm.
And he's here to solve all my problems. He's the adult. He's the father. He's the one that takes all the responsibility. Mm-hmm. I just make a mess. So
stop fighting windmills.
Stop fighting
windmills. All right, shut it off.
All right.
We're done.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys. Have a blessed Tuesday. Keep the peace, be of good behavior, and we will see you tomorrow.